Hey, what's up everybody? I'm StarofWisdom, and today I'm going to be breaking down the team that I used in my most recent ranked doubles gameplay video from last week. So if you're interested in seeing the team in action, you can go check out that video. It went better than I expected. But yeah, this is the team. It's the Cuddly team. It is Eevee and Eeveelutions, and if you're looking for a good team, look elsewhere. If you're looking for a team that is adorable, you found it. That is what we are here for. So, yes, we just need to keep in mind that it is built to be a competitively viable team, but because we're limiting ourselves to Eeveelutions, it's only as competitive as those Pokemon can be. And there's not a lot of synergy between them, unfortunately, which would be really cool if the Eeveelutions had synergy, but that is not the case. But if you are looking for an Eeveelution rental team, you have found it. Here it is, and I'm going to explain it now. If you don't want to hear the explanation, you've got the team ID right there. You can rent the team, you can give it a try. Let me know how bad it is. But yes, without further ado, let us go over into the PC box and actually look at the Pokemon. So, the first thing is Eevee, and this is Gigantamax Eevee. So, the main thing with this is that we have access to the Gmax Cuddle move. It's a base 140 power normal attack when you're using Last Resort to attack with it. We also have like a base 120, I think, from Quick Attack. Anyway, you always use Last Resort for it. With Gmax Cuddle, it will infatuate all opponents of the opposite gender. And the really important thing here is that in the team preview, you can actually see the opponent Pokemon's gender. And my rule of thumb is if half of their team has female Pokemon on it, so at least 3 female Pokemon on their team, you can bring Gigantamax Eevee, because at least one Pokemon that they bring can be infatuated. You can also be smarter about it and see if it actually makes sense for them to be bringing those specific Pokemon and kind of play around it a little bit better. But anyway, yes, the goal is that you want to infatuate Pokemon, because I believe infatuation is a 50% chance that they just won't attack. So I think that's a slightly higher chance of them not attacking than paralysis. Unfortunately, you don't get the speed lowering effect that paralysis does. So, but you know what? Again, it's Eevee. This is the best thing we've got. Use Cuddle. You want to have Pokemon infatuated so that they aren't attacking you, and that gives you the advantage. So yes, Gmax Cuddle is the main reason why we have this Eevee. To be a little bit more reliable, it has full investment in defense and special defense with a little bit in HP. And then, of course, when you Dynamax it, it doubles its HP stat. So it ends up being decently bulky. It's a plus special defense nature, minus special attack, because all of its attacks are physical. And we have it with adaptability, which is going to give you more power on your normal type attacks. It is slow, so just remember that Eevee is a slow Pokemon, and we're mostly just using it to Gigantamax and use Cuddle. After Gigantamax ends, the most useful things you can do are Helping Hand and Quick Attack. That's really what you're going to be going for. Iron Tail is here so that after you have cuddled once, you can be at least using Max Steel Spike to be raising your side's defense. So that's the moveset explanation. The held item is a King's Rock, because didn't think of any other better moves and might as well have a 10% chance to flinch. You know, that seems like a good plan to me. Yeah, it's Eevee. There's maybe a chance that you'll flinch someone when you quick attack them, or maybe you'll cuddle them and infatuate them and also flinch them. Who knows? It's not likely, but it's possible. So, yep, that's the strategy with Eevee. Before I go any further, I should clarify the overall thing with this team is that it consists of slow Pokemon that have speed investment. So, with the exception of like Jolteon and Espeon. But for the most part, half of the team is going to be pretty slow, the other half is going to be fairly fast. So the most important thing to do for handling speed control is use Trick Room on Espeon. If you're going up against a fast team, you want to have Trick Room up so that you are slower than them. If you're going against a slow team using Trick Room, you want to use Trick Room to reverse Trick Room and be in normal speed so that your usually slow-ish to mid-speed tier Pokemon are faster than their very, very slow Pokemon. So, I'll explain that a little bit more when we get to Espeon, but keep that in mind, that is kind of the only really tricky thing we can do to try to deal with speed. So, Vaporeon. Vaporeon is obviously holding the leftovers, as you can see here. It's got perfect IVs and everything except for attack, because it is a special attacker. It is modest, so we're going very offensive and very bulky. It's max HP investment, it's got max special attack investment, I think a little bit in special defense. It has water absorb, so if you want to try switching it in on an incoming water type attack, you can do that, but it mostly just has water absorb because hydration, I think that's the other ability it gets. It heals status conditions in the rain. We're not really trying to set up rain with this team, so not as useful. Moves. Again, Vaporeon is a bulky, slow special attacker. So it's got Scald, it's got Ice Beam, and it has Aqua Ring and Protect. So if you set up Aqua Ring between that and your leftovers, you're actually going to be recovering a decent amount of HP each turn. Protect, a lot of the Pokemon on this team just have Protect as their 4th slot, because sometimes you just need to stall out a turn, or you need to buy time for something to happen. And also, they don't have very many good coverage moves. But Scald and Ice Beam, they're going to hit hard. So yeah, again, this was going to be a good Pokemon to use if you have Trick Room up. Then you're going to want to have Vaporeon so that you can benefit off of its fairly low speed stat. That's Vaporeon. Flareon is one of the main... I was trying to make this be like one of the main attackers of the team. It does have Guts. It's holding the Toxic Orb so that it will get badly poisoned. It has perfect IVs in every stat. And it is max speed and max attack with a plus speed nature. So I really wanted Flareon to be fast, and I actually had a slightly different strategy initially where I was going to be using Agility and Baton Pass on Jolteon to pass the speed buffs onto Flareon so that it could be fast enough to outspeed some stuff. I realized Trick Room was going to be a better strategy. Again, this is going to outspeed a Trick Room team, so if you set up Trick Room and reverse it, so you have normal speed tiers, you'll be able to hit things with Flareon. Otherwise, you're probably going to want Trick Room up. Again, everything is very average speed. It's tricky to work with. You just have to be good at the game to use the team. The team does not work for you. You have to work for this team. But yes, that's what we've got with Flareon. The moves are Flare, Blitz, Facade, Superpower, and Protect. Protect on Flareon is actually pretty key because Toxic Orb doesn't poison you until you've been on the field for a turn. So I usually use Protect on Flareon to get the poison, and then the turn after that, I can Dynamax. Assuming that I haven't already Gigantamaxed Eevee and gone for Gmax Cuddle, I think Flareon is a good Pokemon to Dynamax, assuming that you have the speed conditions set up correctly. Because once you have the Guts boost, and you're already working with a pretty decent attack stat, honestly. But yeah, the Guts boost is really what brings it home with Flare Blitz and Facade and Superpower. You have decent-ish coverage. So yeah, Flareon is our physically offensive, semi-fast Pokemon. But yeah, that's Flareon. Leafeon is a little bit tricky. It's decently fast and really fast if we have the sun up. So basically the entire strategy with Leafeon is that we want to have sun up, but I didn't want to put Sunny Day on any of the other Pokemon because it's not really a sun team. Having the sun up also benefits Flareon with its Flare Blitz. It just makes that stronger. But yes, Leafeon is the Pokemon that has Sunny Day. It also has Solar Blade, X-Scissor, and Dig, so it's got some decent coverage. Leafeon is also decent to Dynamax. Again, assuming that you're not Dynamaxing something else. Once you have the sun up, you're really, really fast. And we are, again, a plus speed, plus physical attack nature. It's a little bit risky. I gave it Solar Blade because I wanted to incentivize that I am setting up Sunny Day anyway. So then Solar Blade ends up being this really powerful attack. Again, it's 2 turns if you don't have the sun up, but we want to have the sun up if we're using Leafeon. Hello, Darwin. You decided to hop down and shake your collar. well, that's okay. You can help with the commentary. But yeah, if you don't have time to set up the sun, at least you have access to X Scissor as a decently powerful attacking move. Dig is tricky. That's more useful for just having Max Quake as when you Dynamax. But sometimes you can do fancy stuff with Dig anyway. Not every Pokemon runs Protect, obviously, so sometimes you can hit things with that. It is holding the Heat Rock to just make the sun last longer, and that's basically what we do with Leafeon. Espeon is really key. I think that you should always lead Espeon unless it's like just a terrible matchup against everything on their team. Espeon is going to be really key for setting up the team to make it actually playable. The ability Magic Bounce is really good because we're going to not be hit by status moves. It's plus speed, so it's fast. It's also got max special attack investment, so it's going to be hitting really hard. Again, it's not really supposed to be an attacker. We have Psychic on it so that we can hit something really hard, but mostly we want to have it use Trick Room to either reverse a Trick Room or set up Trick Room so that our other slow Pokemon can be fast or slow. You get what I'm saying. But we also have Reflect and Light Screen with the Light Clay. The team is fairly frail, but if you can set up a Reflect and a Light Screen, honestly, it gives you 8 turns to hopefully live some attacks that you usually would not be living. So yeah, I think leading Espeon and going for a Light Screen or a Reflect right away, depending on what their initial 2 Pokemon are that they send out, is a decent strategy. And then, again, we have Psychic on there so that if we do need to hit something really hard, we can do that. One thing to keep in mind is Trick Room always goes last, so even though Espeon is super fast, it's not going to be getting Trick Room up first. It has to live that turn, and then it will use Trick Room at the end of the turn. And also, keep in mind, Espeon, because it is fast, it is not very good in Trick Room. So, just something to be aware of. But I think Trick Room really ended up being the necessary move for making this team even playable. Without Trick Room, it's just so hard to handle dealing with most teams. There's really no good options. And then finally we have Jolteon. And Jolteon is personally my favorite Pokemon on the team because it just works as is. It doesn't need to like have any crazy setup. It's a fast special attacker, and those are the types of Pokemon that I tend to like the most. It's actually really fast compared to most Pokemon in the game. You're going to be outspeeding a lot of things. It has 200 speed, as you can see, and we basically just want to be all-out offensive with it. We have it holding the Life Orb so that it's doing even more damage, and it's got Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, and Shadow Ball for coverage. So yeah, we're hitting things decently hard with Jolteon, and we're usually moving first. So if you're planning to set up Trick Room and be trying to go slower than the other team, you don't want to bring Jolteon. But if you're not doing that, Jolteon is a good one to use. And we also have Protect on it, just because Protect is a good move. And that's pretty much the whole team. Again, like I said, not a lot of synergy here. It's not a actually competitive team. It is as competitive of an Eevee team as I could come up with. If you have suggestions, please let me know. I am open to hearing them. I honestly haven't seen many other Eeveelution teams out there because it's a really hard team to build, especially in Sword and Shield. I would have loved to have Umbreon on the team to do Toxic Stall, but it doesn't get toxic anymore, so that's super frustrating. But yeah, if you have ideas for improvements for the team, please let me know. If you have made your own Eevee team that you have a rental code for, please also add that in the comments and just share it, and we can all hopefully make better Eevee teams in the future. But I've sort of accepted it's just not going to be a fantastic team. But if you show up with a team of Eeveelutions and you are wearing this outfit and you have the Eevee trainer card, you have a really powerful intimidation factor going on. Okay, that's the Eevee team. Hopefully you enjoy it. It's an adorable disaster. And I will see you someday with a hopefully actually competitive team.